Welcome to Danny Ludofia Animations, the home of inspiring, soul-touching stories that reflect real life, godly values, and powerful lessons. We want to say a big thank you to all our amazing viewers around the world. Your love, your support, your shares and comments, they all mean so much to us. You're the reason this channel is growing stronger every day. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video with someone. Your support helps us reach more lives with stories that matter. As you watch today's episode, we pray that God will bless you abundantly, guide your steps, and protect you from every secret enemy. May you always rise above envy and betrayal.
Oh, look, you finally decided to show up. Grace, honestly, if I had your job, I'd be exhausted too. But that's why I chose better, being my own boss, doing what I love, having clients who literally adore me. It's not for everyone, I guess. Good morning to you too, Linda. I'm glad you're doing well. Work was hectic, but I'm grateful to have something stable. Stable? Or stuck? Come on, Grace. You've been in that same position for what, 5 years? Still earning crumbs while they milk your talents. You should have asked me to coach you on personal branding. I practically transformed my life through confidence and self-awareness. I'm actually comfortable where I am. Not everything has to be flashy or on social media to have value. Oh, sweetie. That's such a mediocre mindset. See, I create value. Just last week, I posted a quote about ambition on Instagram and it got over 1,000 likes. People look to me for guidance. Well, that's good for you. But I think real influence isn't in likes, it's in how you treat people around you. Here we go with your kindness over success sermon. Grace, let me tell you, kindness doesn't pay the bills. Confidence does. Just yesterday, I walked into a boutique, and they offered me a VIP discount without even asking. I guess they just recognized quality when they saw it. Or maybe you asked for the discount and spun a story again. You've done that before. Are you accusing me of lying? No. I'm just saying. Sometimes the stories you tell seem exaggerated. Wow. That's so ungrateful. I'm the one who encouraged you after your breakup, remember? I told you how to dress, what to post, how to stop being boring. And this is how you repay me? Linda, you criticized my clothes, told me I was too plain to be loved, and made me cry. That's not encouragement. Ugh, you were so sensitive. No wonder you struggle to keep people around. I was trying to help you glow up. You always twist everything into some emotional trauma. Or maybe you just don't like being called out. You hurt me, Linda. That's the truth. You say it's help, but it feels like you were trying to outshine everyone, even family. You're just jealous. It's okay. I need to go in and relax. Linda, I'm proud of all you've achieved, truly. But I want you to remember, you're not my only child. Grace, Jude, Anita, they all have their struggles. Not everyone's journey looks like yours. Just because they're not where you are doesn't mean they're lazy or failing. They still need support, love, and dignity. You've done well, but don't use your success as a reason to look down on them. Mama, it's not about looking down. It's just frustrating when I see them not putting in half the effort I did. I didn't wait for handouts, I built my life. Now that I'm stable, suddenly I'm expected to carry everyone else. I love them, but I can't keep pouring into people who don't match my drive. Sometimes I feel like no one saw my struggle, only my success. We saw it, Linda. We just didn't want to add to your weight. But don't let your pain turn into pride. You're a strong woman, but even strength needs compassion. Help if you can, but don't forget, family isn't a race. It's a pond. Let them sit up like me. I can't spend on them while they remain lazy people. Okay. Linda. I've been thinking. You remember when you were starting out and I gave you my last savings? The small gold bangles I had from your father's time, I sold them so you could move to the city and buy that first laptop. You said you'd never forget that. Yes. I still remember. I most forever remain grateful. Now, Grace is struggling with transport to work. Jude can't afford proper clothes for interviews. Anita is patching up her son's shoes with glue. I'm not saying give them everything, but maybe a few of your old bags, clothes, or a small token to push them forward. Just like I did for you. Mama, with all due respect, I'm not a charity organization. I worked for everything I have. I didn't sit around waiting for handouts. Grace is always looking pitiful, Jude keeps hopping from one failed plan to another, and Anita, well, she made her choices. Why should I strip myself just because they didn't plan their lives better? As for my clothes and bags, Mama, those are things I invested in. They represent my brand, my hard work. Giving them away like they were scraps. No. If they want those things, they can do what I did, hustle. But that's the point, my child. Someone gave you a chance. I let go of what I had to lift you. And it bore fruit, thank God. Now, they need just a little help, some clothes you don't even wear, shoes that haven't left your closet in months, money you could spare without blinking. Why is it so hard? Your siblings are not your competitors. They're your blood. Help doesn't diminish you. It multiplies grace. Mama, it's not hard, it's unwise. The moment I give one thing, it becomes a habit. Next thing, Jude is calling every week, Grace is crying over something else, Anita is dragging her kids into the picture. And I'll be seen as the automatic solution to everyone's poor choices. That's how people take advantage. I've learned that the more you give, the less they respect you. They start feeling entitled. I love them, but I won't enable their comfort zones. You may see this as selfishness, but I see it as survival. Survival, yes. But where is your soul, Linda? What does it profit you to gain the world and lose compassion? You speak of enabling, but I hear fear. Fear of being needed. You talk of entitlement, but I see someone who's forgotten what it feels like to be desperate. You've grown, yes, but not all growth is upward, some of it must be outward. Into love. Into empathy. Into remembering your roots. Those things you hoard in boxes could restore dignity to your own brother. A pair of heels could give Grace confidence for a job. A simple gift could remind Anita she's not alone. I'll think about it, Mama. But I won't be guilted into poverty. Marcus, I've gone through your report 3 times and I still can't wrap my head around how someone with your supposed experience could produce something so underwhelming. Do you even double-check your work? Because to me, this looks rushed, unimpressive, and frankly, not the level one expect from someone sharing a project with me. When my name is attached to a file, excellence is non-negotiable. I've built a reputation here, through sleepless nights, precision, and results. I don't have time to babysit people who don't take their roles seriously. If you can't meet my standards, then maybe you shouldn't be working with me at all.
Linda, I respect your passion for high standards, but there's a difference between constructive feedback and personal attack, and you just crossed that line. The report you're calling underwhelming was done under unrealistic deadlines that you pushed forward without consulting anyone. I worked late, skipped my weekend, and still ensured the data was accurate and professionally presented. But your problem isn't with the work, it's that it wasn't your idea. You don't correct for improvement, Linda, you criticize to elevate yourself. You act like you're the only competent person in this company, when in fact, teamwork made that last project shine. Yet, every success becomes your victory, and every flaw becomes our failure. That's not leadership, that's ego.
Ego. Marcus, please. If I didn't hold this team to a higher standard, we'd still be swimming in mediocrity. I refuse to settle for good enough, because I know what excellence looks like, and unfortunately, you are still confusing effort with excellence. Don't mistake my demand for quality as arrogance. I simply know my worth, and I won't water it down to protect fragile feelings. You call it ego. I call it vision. You see, while you're focused on being liked or fair, I'm focused on results. And that's why I keep getting promoted while others stay comfortable behind their screens, whining about tone instead of improving their output.
You keep mistaking your need for control as leadership. Vision without respect becomes tyranny. No one is questioning your intelligence or dedication, Linda, but the way you belittle people, steamroll their input, and take credit without acknowledgement, it breeds resentment, not loyalty. You think you're building a legacy, but what you're actually building is a wall. One day, you'll look around and realize you're alone at the top, because no one could breathe under your shadow. I don't need to be praised for doing my job. But I won't stand here and let you diminish me to inflate yourself. Respect is earned, not demanded.
Well, if speaking truth sounds like belittling to you, then maybe you've grown too comfortable with flattery. I'll make sure this conversation is noted, with HR if necessary. I don't tolerate insubordination.
And I don't tolerate toxic behavior dressed as leadership. If HR needs to hear this, I'll gladly walk in with you. Linda, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk. I've been thinking a lot lately about Dad and everything he left behind. It's been tough for all of us since he passed, especially for Mom. But I think it's time we started talking about how to make good use of what he left. Fairly. The farmland in Okoro, he always talked about it as something for the family. I've got a small business plan that I've been working on, and I believe I can start something meaningful there. I'm not asking for everything, just a portion. I want to honor Dad's legacy by building on it, not just watching it sit idle. I know you've taken the lead on these matters, and I respect that, but I'm asking for your support this time.
Daniel, I find it interesting that you suddenly want to be involved in honoring Dad's legacy now that the groundwork has already been laid. Where was all this fire when he was sick? When I was chasing lawyers, filing documents, settling estate matters, talking to land surveyors? While you and your small business plans were nowhere to be found? And don't say you want a portion, you're not just asking for land. You're asking for control. You want access, status, recognition. But here's the truth you don't want to hear, you haven't earned the right to manage anything tied to Dad's name. His legacy was built on discipline and leadership, two things you've yet to demonstrate consistently.
Linda, I don't need to impress you to deserve what our father left behind. This isn't about status or recognition. It's about carrying forward something he wanted for all his children, not just the one who screams the loudest or dresses the best. I didn't fly across the country or throw around big titles like you did, but I was here. I was present. I helped take care of Dad when he couldn't lift himself. I supported Mom when she couldn't sleep at night. Your definition of contribution is so one-sided. If it doesn't involve paperwork or money, you pretend it didn't happen. But there's more to family than documents and deeds. There's presence. There's love. There's sacrifice you don't measure with receipts. I'm not demanding. I'm requesting that you allow your brother a fair share of something our father worked for.
You see, that's the problem. You think family ties automatically translate to entitlement. This isn't some fairy tale where land gets handed out like Christmas presents. Our father entrusted me with everything because he knew I had the capacity to protect it, not divide it. I'm not being selfish, I'm being responsible. I know what happens when you hand land to people with grand ideas and no long-term discipline. I've watched too many people sell family land for cheap thrills and end up with nothing. I won't let that happen under my watch. If you want to prove something, start small. Earn it. But don't come to me expecting a shortcut to legacy. That's not how it works. Not in my world.
It's not your world, Linda. It's our father's. And you don't own his memory, no matter how many documents you sign or how many times you remind us of your sacrifices. One day, even Mom will ask why you've turned everything into a throne room where only you sit. I won't beg. But I will speak. And if fairness won't come from you, maybe it'll come from her.
They'll never say it out loud, but I know it. I know I'm the reason this family hasn't crumbled. Without me, they'd all be lost. Daniel would still be running in circles, chasing small dreams with no direction, and Mother, well, she's lovely, but let's be honest, she leans on me more than she realizes. I've become the pillar. The unshakable one. The one who acts, while the others whimper and wait. At work, it's the same story. They smile at me in meetings, but behind those smiles is envy. They see my strength, my clarity, my brilliance. I don't just get the job done, I define the standard. I lead, I dominate, I outperform. They talk about team spirit, but we all know the truth, without Linda, the engine stalls. I correct their mistakes, carry the weight, and still shine while doing it. And my so-called friends? Ha! They cling to me, hoping some of my confidence will rub off. They complain about life, about men, about bills, but me? I handle it all. I make it look easy. They don't understand how I keep rising, how I remain untouchable. It's not magic, it's simply because I'm better. I know who I am. I make the hard choices. I say what others are afraid to say. People call it arrogance. I call it clarity. If I don't praise myself, who will? They need me more than I need them, and deep down, they know it. I'm not just surviving, I'm leading, winning, dominating. And I'll keep doing it. Because no one does it like me. No one ever has. And no one ever will.
Linda, it's been a while. Sit down, please.
Mr. Okoro, I've held my tongue for far too long. I've observed how you run things around here, and honestly, I'm baffled. Baffled that someone in your position still clings to old, outdated procedures in a company that's supposed to be progressive. We're in a fast-paced world, flexibility, innovation, quick decisions, those are what drive success. But your system? It's slow, overly bureaucratic, and frankly, stifling for people like me who are used to working ahead of the curve. Now don't misunderstand me, I respect what you think you're doing. But from where I'm sitting, your so-called structure is keeping talented people boxed in. People like me, who bring fresh energy, who understand the bigger picture. You may have your protocols, but I have results. And at the end of the day, results speak louder than policy manuals.
Linda, I appreciate your passion. I truly do. But your perception doesn't always align with reality. I've been managing HR for over a decade, and I can assure you that structure is not the enemy of innovation. It's what keeps things stable while innovation happens. You see chaos. I see a system that has consistently produced growth, harmony, and accountability. You say my methods are outdated, but I say they're proven. We don't bend policies for personalities. We build systems that work for everyone, not just the loudest voice in the room. I've seen dozens of talented people like you come and go, bright, confident, ambitious. But not all of them understood the value of working with the system instead of trying to overpower it. Your drive is commendable, but your constant need to assert dominance over others isn't leadership, it's disruption. And that's not the culture we're building here.
You call it disruption, I call it impact. And I'm not trying to assert dominance. I am dominant, and everyone knows it. My team listens to me because I deliver. My ideas move faster, land better, and produce measurable outcomes. You say you've been here for 10 years, great, but maybe it's time someone challenged the comfort you've built around yourself. You don't get to silence initiative just because it doesn't come packaged the way you like. I'm not here to blend in, I'm here to elevate. And I won't apologize for knowing that I'm more than just another employee. I'm a brand, Mr. Okoro. A force. If the system doesn't recognize that, maybe it's the system that needs changing.
Linda, it's one thing to be confident. It's another to be self-absorbed. There's a difference between a leader and a lone star. Leadership is about lifting others, not just elevating yourself. If you truly want to make impact, learn to collaborate. Learn to listen. Understand that wisdom doesn't always wear your name tag. You're not here to run the company. You're here to contribute to it. If every employee saw themselves as this old visionary, we'd have chaos, not progress. You are intelligent, yes. Capable, no doubt. But until you understand the value of humility and respect for structure, you'll always be your own ceiling.
I'll take that as a compliment wrapped in fear. You can't intimidate me with structure, I've broken bigger walls than this. One way or another, this company will recognize who the real asset is. Sooner or later.
Good day, ma'am.
Mr. Kingsley. Finally, the man behind the $1 million decision. Please, have a seat. You're in the right hands today. I've personally overseen this project from start to finish because, let's face it, when something this important is on the table, only my touch can bring it to life the way it deserves. I've been told I have a gift. Not just for business, but for vision, strategy, finesse, those things that can't be taught. And when clients choose to work with me, they usually leave saying it was the best decision of their year.
Well, it's good to meet someone who clearly believes in their own ability. Confidence is admirable when it's matched with results. I've heard good things about your company, and I'm certainly eager to see how today's transaction plays out. But forgive me if I say, I prefer results that speak for themselves, not results that are constantly introduced with a drumroll.
Oh, I like that, very sharp. But in my experience, if you don't celebrate your own brilliance, people will act like it never happened. I've had to build this office, this brand, this reputation from the ground up. And believe me, when you're a woman in power, confidence isn't optional, it's survival. Besides, I'm not all talk. I've closed deals that others didn't even have the courage to pitch. I've sat in rooms where every eye was on me because I'm the one with the answers. Today's transaction? It's just another chapter in my story of excellence.
Well, Linda, I won't deny your energy, it's powerful. But in this line of work, I look for more than performance. I look for consistency, humility, and the ability to let the work shine more than the person behind it. You say this deal is another chapter in your story. I respect that. But I hope it's also a chapter in our success, not just yours. Because when clients begin to feel like background characters in someone else's show, the partnership begins to lose its balance. I'm here for a transaction, yes, but I'm also here to build something. Not just be dazzled by it.
Point taken. But let's be honest, people don't come to me for modesty. They come to me because I get the job done in ways others can't. I have a track record that's hard to ignore. That's not ego, that's facts. I'm simply not afraid to stand in the spotlight I earned. But I also believe in delivery. And trust me, by the time this transaction is wrapped up, you'll see that every word I said was backed by something solid. I don't just shine, I build. And what I build lasts.
Fair enough, Linda. I appreciate your conviction. It's bold, borderline overwhelming, but bold. Just remember, true greatness often speaks in fewer words, and lets the impact do the talking. Let's go over the terms, shall we?
Let's. Prepare to be impressed. You know, Anita, I've been thinking. Sometimes I wonder how this department would even function if I decided to take a week off. Honestly, it's crazy how much weight I carry around here, and yet, no one truly says it enough. I mean, you're all doing your best, of course, but there is a difference between participating and actually running the engine, you know. Just yesterday, the manager sent out that performance email, and let's be real, we both know who those unsung heroes were pointing to. I laughed when I read it, because I don't need quiet praise, I deserve applause. But it's fine. I'm not the type to need others' validation. I know I'm good.
That's nice, Linda. You've always been confident in your abilities.
Confident? Anita, let's not water it down. It's not just confidence, it's excellence. Precision. Vision. I walk into a room and things shift. People listen. I've got presence, I've got brains, and I've got results. That's a rare combination. I mean, look at last month's report. The client I brought in. The figures I helped push. These are not small wins. But people here act like it's just routine. If I weren't as strong-minded as I am, I'd probably feel overlooked. But instead, I choose to shine anyway. That's what makes me different.
True, you do put in a lot of effort. And results matter. Everyone notices, I think.
Exactly. That's why I've always said, you don't wait for others to clap for you. You bring your own stage, your own lights, your own soundtrack. Some people need motivation from others. Me? I am the motivation. And honestly, sometimes I think some of you draw strength from just being around me. Even you, Anita, you've gotten more confident since we started working together. I notice things like that. That's part of my strength too, seeing potential in others. But I always say, when you're the sun, it's natural for others to catch a bit of your glow.
That's one way to look at it. I guess everyone has their own unique light. Some shine louder, others just more quietly. But light is still light, isn't it?
That's cute, Anita. But some lights brighten stadiums, others just flicker on a desk lamp. No offense, of course. You've got your strengths too. You're steady. And that's needed. But I guess I've always been wired to stand out, to lead. It's not pride, it's just reality. People like me were born for more. Anyway, carry on. I just came to take a breather and bless your space a bit. I know having me around does boost morale.
Of course. Thanks for stopping by, Linda. Your office is nice.
Yes, thanks. Anita. Can I ask you something honestly? How do you manage to stay so calm around Linda? I mean, she practically crowned herself CEO yesterday. She talks to everyone like we're her interns.
I've learned not to take it personally. Some people need to feel constantly validated. For them, being seen as the best is their only way to feel secure. So rather than confront, I just observe. Let her have her stage. The applause usually fades on its own.
You're better than me. I nearly rolled my eyes into next week when she said she was the reason the department has prestige. She acts like we're all just side characters in her autobiography.
Yes, I've heard her say things like that. But I believe in quiet influence. Some people shout their worth, others just live it. Eventually, actions draw the real respect, words don't.
Looks like someone's having a cozy little tea party in my absence. Talking about anything interesting, or just the usual low-level banter?
Just catching a breath from the grind. Nothing deep.
Ah, I figured. I mean, not everyone is wired to be productive 24/7. Some of us lead, while others chat. It's okay. I get it. Leadership isn't for everyone.
True. But leadership isn't about talking louder or shining brighter. It's about how people feel around you. Whether they were inspired or drained.
Interesting perspective. I guess that's how quieter folks comfort themselves when they're overlooked.
Or how real team players remind each other that leadership isn't performance, it's service.
Well, I must be doing something right, considering how often I'm talked about. Love me or envy me, I'm still the center of the room.
Being the center of the room doesn't always mean being the heart of the team, Linda. Sometimes the quietest ones are holding it all together.
Enjoy your day.
Wow. That was the softest mic drop I've ever witnessed.
No need to be loud to be heard.
Linda, your brother came to see me yesterday. He was very hurt. He told me about your conversation, about how you shut him down when he brought up your father's property. That land meant a lot to him, and to your father. He thought maybe, just maybe, you'd understand. Understand what, Mama? That he wants to divide everything my father worked for, everything I practically helped protect, like it's some tray of meat at a party? No, I'm sorry. I won't play that game. Let's be honest, if it wasn't for me, half of those properties would have been mismanaged or lost by now. I was the one who helped sort out the documents when Daddy passed. I was the one who spoke to the lawyer, paid the pending bills, handled the bank processes, and yet they want to stand on equal ground? Equal how? Emotionally? Spiritually? Because practically, none of them have lifted a finger. Linda. No one is trying to rob you of your effort. We all know what you did after your father passed, and I'm grateful. But that doesn't make you more of his child than the others. You're all my children. The land, the house, the legacy, it belongs to all of you. Your brother was only asking for a fair conversation. He didn't come to fight. Mama, that's the problem. He wasn't ready for a fair conversation, he came with entitlement. He thought he could guilt trip me into releasing what he has no right to demand. He thinks because we share the same blood, he automatically shares my sacrifices, my intelligence, my discipline. Let's be real, I worked hard to get where I am. I carry this family's name with class, with pride. And I'm not about to hand over property to someone who doesn't understand the value of responsibility just because it seems fair. Life is not fair, it rewards those who show up.
My daughter. It worries me, the way you talk sometimes. You speak like love is a reward system. Like family should only matter if they meet your standard. That's not how I raised you. You were successful, yes. But you didn't raise yourself. We were all here, your father, me, even your siblings in their own way. When your father died, his wish was that none of you would fight over what he left behind. He said, let them share with peace, or they'll lose more than property, they'll lose each other.
Well, maybe Daddy should have left clearer instructions then. Because I'm not going to let emotions cloud logic. I don't make decisions based on sentiment, I make them based on merit. If my brother wants land, let him earn it. Let him prove he knows what to do with it. Mama, you may not understand this, but the reason I'm where I am today is because I never believed in handouts. And I refused to start distributing family assets like charity donations. That's not strength. That's weakness wrapped in guilt.
And sometimes, Linda, strength without compassion becomes cruelty. I just hope you won't one day stand in that same house, with everything you claim to protect, but no one left to share it with.
Well, if solitude is the price of greatness, then so be it. I'd rather be alone and in control than surrounded by people who drain me.
Oh Linda. My daughter. My first spark of joy. How I remember the day you were born. You came into this world with strong lungs, with a fierce cry, as though even then, you wanted the world to know you had arrived. From the beginning, you always stood out. But not always in the ways I hoped. Even as a little girl, you always wanted your way. If another child had a toy, you had to have a bigger one. If your brother was praised, you would sulk until someone reminded you of your own brilliance. It was never enough to be good, you had to be better. Not just better. Seen as better. I used to think it was confidence. I thought, maybe she's just strong-willed. Maybe this will serve her well in life. And in some ways, it did. You became successful, yes. You climbed high, walked into rooms like you owned them, demanded your place and got it. But what's the use of all that light if it casts shadows on everyone around you? You've always been clever, Linda. Clever with words, sharp with your tongue. Too sharp, sometimes. Even as a teenager, when you were corrected, you found a way to twist things, to make others feel wrong for questioning you. The house often felt like it was revolving around your moods. And I let it happen. I kept hoping age would soften you, that maturity would plant humility in your heart. But here we are. Still, you are my daughter. And I will never stop praying that one day, that heart of stone will break, just a little, so love can enter. So light can return. So your siblings can laugh with you, not behind you. So you can finally come home, not just to this house, but to the arms that have never stopped hoping for you.
Linda, this has been a wonderful evening. You've been everything I imagined, and more. I can't help but feel so lucky that I had the chance to meet you. I mean, really meet you.
Oh, Michael, I get it a lot. People tend to be impressed when they finally get to experience me. I mean, who wouldn't be? I've worked hard for the position I hold in life, both personally and professionally. But I understand why you were so captivated. It's natural to be in awe of someone who knows exactly who they are and what they want.
Yes, exactly. You're incredibly confident, and that's one of the things I admire about you. But there's something I need to say. I've been thinking about it for a while, and tonight seemed like the right moment. Linda, I feel like we've really connected. I don't want to waste any more time, and I don't want to just settle for anything less than exactly what I want in life.
Oh. What is it that you want, Michael? You know, I'm not someone who's easy to impress, and I'm certainly not someone you can just settle for. I'm an experience, not a choice. When you're with someone like me, you don't get the privilege of settling. You need to earn it.
I've thought about this long and hard, Linda. I want you in my life, in every way possible. I admire your strength, your independence, your brilliance. And honestly, I can't imagine my future without you. So, he reaches into his pocket, pulling out a small velvet box. Linda, will you marry me?
Wait, are you serious? You really thought I'd marry someone like you? How quaint. Oh, Michael. You must not understand. You see, I'm not like other women. I don't just settle down because someone asks me nicely, no matter how sweet the gesture. It's adorable, really, but I'm not one to follow the script. I am the prize here. I am the one who decides if and when something like that happens. And trust me, I have far too much going on to just stop and become someone's wife.
I'm not asking you to stop being who you are, Linda. I just thought that maybe, together, we could build something incredible. I'm not trying to change you. I want to add to your life, not take away from it.
Oh, sweet Michael, you don't get it, do you? You can't add to a life like mine. My life is already perfect. Everything I've built alone. And if I'm being honest, I don't need anyone slowing me down. I've made my success on my own terms, and I don't need some man coming along trying to be my better half. I'm already whole. Entirely whole. You see, I'm a rare woman, Michael. I'm a force, a presence. Most men, well, they don't know how to handle someone like me. They want to complete me. But I'm already complete.
Linda, I didn't think you'd see it that way. I thought maybe, just maybe, we could be something special. But now I see that you're right about one thing, you really are untouchable. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe you're just too high up for anyone to reach you.
Exactly. It's not that you're a bad guy, Michael. It's just that you're ordinary. And I don't have room for ordinary in my life. I don't mean to sound cruel, but I've worked too hard to settle for less than extraordinary. I mean, look at you. You're fine. But you can't stand in the light I create, you'd only cast shadows.
I understand now. You've made your point. But, you know, Linda, one day you might realize that being untouchable doesn't mean being happy. But maybe you'll be fine with that.
I'm perfectly fine with that. Happiness is overrated. I create my happiness. I don't need anyone else to do that for me. But good luck with your search for something you think will fulfill you. Have a nice day, Mr. Husbandman. Go other girls, please. I am not ready for that.
Wow, I didn't see that coming. I thought I knew her, at least a little. I thought beneath all that confidence was someone longing to be loved, to be understood. But tonight, she made it clear. It's not about partnership for her. It's about power, control, image. She didn't even see me, not really. Just another man trying to reach her level. She talked about being a prize like love is a competition. Like I was beneath her. I was ready to offer her something real, but she couldn't see value unless it was hers. I thought proposing would be a beginning. Turns out, it was just the end of an illusion.
You sent for me, preacher.
Yes. You are welcome, Sister Linda. Linda, thank you for agreeing to sit with me for a moment. I hope you know this conversation is coming from a place of love and concern. I've always admired your strength and the clarity with which you handle your affairs. But I've also noticed something that burdens me. I spoke with Michael recently, yes, the young man who had feelings for you. He was honest, not bitter, just wounded. He shared how things unfolded. And as a pastor, not just over the congregation but over your soul, I felt led to speak with you. Not to condemn you, but to remind you of who we are in Christ. You see, Linda, confidence is beautiful. It's biblical to know your worth. But Christianity teaches us that even in strength, we must wear humility. Even in success, we must leave room for grace. The Proverbs say, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. And I fear, my daughter, that your strength has started to silence your softness. Your heart.
Pastor Gideon, with all due respect, I appreciate your concern, truly. But I don't think anyone understands how much I've had to fight to become the woman I am today. The world doesn't hand confidence to people like me, I had to build it from scratch. I've been overlooked, underestimated, and doubted by many. So, no, I won't apologize for knowing my worth or expecting others to meet me at my level. As for Michael, I mean, really, Pastor. He's a nice guy, but nice isn't enough. I refuse to lower myself just to fit into someone else's idea of love. If he feels wounded because I didn't accept his proposal, perhaps he needs to grow stronger, not expect me to shrink smaller. I come to church because I respect God, but let's not confuse being Christian with being passive. I can be bold and godly. I can be powerful and still saved. Maybe I intimidate people, but that's their problem, not mine.
Linda, the issue is not your boldness, it's the spirit behind it. Even Jesus, the Son of God, washed the feet of his disciples. The most powerful man who walked this earth did not use his strength to exalt himself, but to serve others. You speak of not lowering yourself, but sometimes love requires you to stoop low, to understand, to listen, to sacrifice. No one asked you to surrender your identity. But when your confidence becomes a wall no one can scale, it stops being confidence and becomes pride. You talk about people needing to rise to your level, but Jesus, who is highest, came down to our level. He didn't demand perfection before he gave his love. He led with love. And that's what I want you to consider, Linda. I'm not saying Michael was your destiny. But how you treat people, how you regard their hearts, matters. The heart of a Christian isn't proven in the pulpit, it's revealed in private moments. Like this one.
I hear you, Pastor. I truly do. But the truth is, not everyone is called to the same kind of walk. Some of us are born to lead, to dominate, to stand out. Maybe that intimidates others, and maybe the church isn't used to women who don't fit the mold of meanness. But I won't apologize for being exceptional. If that makes people uncomfortable, then maybe they need to look inward, not me. I know who I am. And I believe God made me this way for a reason. So while I appreciate your wisdom, I also ask that you trust that I know what I'm doing with my life. I don't need fixing, Pastor. I need people who can keep up.
Linda, I will always pray for you. But I hope, someday, you'll realize that God did not call us to keep up with each other. He called us to walk together. In love, in truth, and in humility. Let's pray together before you leave.
It's okay. if you feel like.
Father in heaven, I thank you for Linda's life, for the gifts, the brilliance, and the strength you've placed in her. Lord, I ask that you soften her heart, not to weaken her, but to fill her with the humility and wisdom that reflect your spirit. Help her to see that true greatness comes not just from standing tall, but from bending low in love. Teach her that leadership without compassion is hollow, and that confidence without grace can wound the ones you've called us to uplift. Surround her with truth, guard her from pride, and draw her deeper into the character of Christ. May she walk in power, but also in purpose, one that honors you above all else. In Jesus' name I pray, Amen.
Amen. I should be on my way, Pastor.
Linda, you are welcome. It's been a while.
Mr. Anderson, it's clear this company needs someone with my vision. I'm the one who's been holding this place together. I demand more recognition, more power. Without me, you wouldn't even be here.
Linda, your contributions are noted, but your attitude is not what we value here. I think it's time we part ways. Your appointment is terminated, effective immediately.
What? You can't be serious. Do you know who I am? I made this company. You can't just fire me.
Actually, I can. No one is above the company. You'll receive no pay or severance. Please gather your things.
As Linda storms out of the office, the weight of her arrogance begins to settle in. For the first time, her certainty and self-importance have collided with reality, and the harshness of it is almost too much to bear. Her world, built on the pedestal she's placed herself upon, now feels unsteady, her future uncertain. But for Linda, this isn't the end. It's never the end. She's used to winning, used to being in control. So how will she navigate this unexpected downfall? Will she learn from it or continue to spiral deeper into her own narcissistic trap? The stage is set. The real test begins now. Stay tuned for the next episode, where Linda must face not only the consequences of her actions, but also a decision that could change everything.